Welcome to the Dave Palma Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Palma.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Palma Show. Now that the 2022 Commonwealth Games has been closed in Birmingham and the Commonwealth Decade of Sport commences, the Commonwealth Secretariat is working to leverage the vital role that access to sport can play in promoting peace, better health, equal rights and sustainable development across the Commonwealth's 56 member countries. Sport as an enabler for core Commonwealth principles. Speaking at the Commonwealth Games, Dr. Shavna Haythornthwaite, Head of Human Rights Unit at the Commonwealth Secretariat, said, Commonwealth member countries have acknowledged the important contribution that sports and physical activity can make to improving well-being and healthy lifestyle, socio-economic development, and helping to build just and peaceful societies. The inclusion of international human rights principles and standards in sports policies and frameworks acts as an enabler for core Commonwealth principles of good governance, respect for human rights, and the rule of law. In this way, the Secretariat Human Rights Unit will continue to assist member countries in attaining their international human rights obligation and the Sustainable Development Goals. The Secretariat's Human Rights Unit supports Commonwealth member states through the provision of technical assistance, integrating a rights-based approach to sports, and human rights through sports policies, frameworks, and mega sports events. Challenging stereotypes and strengthening inclusion. Emphasising human rights objectives in the life cycle of major sporting events such as Commonwealth Games spurs a lasting positive legacy from bidding, planning and procurement to competition delivery. The Commonwealth Consensus Statement on Promoting Human Rights in and through Sports, adopted in 2020, saw Commonwealth heads of government recognise the fundamental right to practice physical education, physical activity and sport without discrimination. By facilitating the participation of marginalised groups in sport, Commonwealth states can challenge stereotypes and ensure sports is an avenue in which they fulfil their obligation of respecting the right to non-discrimination. Participation by marginalised groups in sports can also have their wider implications in strengthening their inclusions in other parts of societies and their enjoyment of wider civil, political, as well as economic, social and cultural rights. The strength of the Commonwealth is in its unwavering commitment to the fundamental values and principles outlined in the Commonwealth Charter and in supporting our members in practical ways to uphold and champion these principles. During the 10th Commonwealth Sports Ministers meeting, the Commonwealth Ministers welcomed the introduction of the 10 guiding actions of the implementing of the Commonwealth Consensus Statement on Promoting Human Rights in and through Sports, which highlights practical actions member states can take over the next decade until Australia hosts the Olympic Games in 2032. A global sporting event such as the Commonwealth Games is an opportunity to inspire future generations to be more active and inclusive and to create positive legacies that can promote the shared values and principles of the Commonwealth. That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, or head over to my website davepalmer.com and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Palma Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.